Yo, what is good, YouTube? Krishan checking back in with another video. Let's start today's video off with a recent update of Mr. Olympia Derek Lunsford. I've actually heard a few people say this update may be an older one, but whether it's recent, it's from last week, it's from last year. Taking a look at this real last spread, this doesn't really look beatable, guys. This is honestly giving me Phil Heath vibes. And as of right now, we are about 9 weeks out from the Mr. Olympia, and I think most of the bodybuilding community have this year's show being won by Derek Lunsford or Hottie Chupin. We will talk about Samson Dauda and Andrew Jack and their chances of winning a little bit later, but the champ is looking like he's going to come in and win. And as I mentioned, if this is an older update, that should be even scarier for the competition because Derek is even better now, but I think it's recent. And next up, we have a recent physique update from Samson Dauda. Again, we are currently about 9 weeks out from this year's Olympia. And I've already seen a few people report on this post. I've seen people say Samson is going to win the Mr. Olympia. And believe it or not, I've also seen people say that Samson has maxed out his physique, which is an absolutely ridiculous statement. Based off what I'm looking at here, I would say that Samson is bigger than he was at 9 weeks out, maybe going into last year's Olympia, and possibly a little bit tighter. Now, Samson isn't really flexing the hams and the glutes in the back poses, but if you guys noticed in the beginning of the video, you could definitely see a lot of detail in that area. But at 9 weeks out, I'm mostly seeing size improvements from Samson, especially in the back double bicep. I think that pose has really came up. We need to see conditioning improvements. We need to see more detail in Samson, which I'm sure we will see over the coming weeks. Now, next up, let's talk about the man, the myth, the Mona Lisa, Andrew Jack, because why not? Andrew is the talk of the town right now after winning the 2024 Texas Pro, his third consecutive win at the Texas Pro. I've heard everything from Andrew is going to win this year's Olympia to, well, Andrew's going to win this year's Olympia. But now that the hype has died down a little bit, let's be a little bit more analytical when it comes to Andrew Jack. Can he really win this year's Mr. Olympia? Now, Andrew has made improvements, the biggest being in the real last spread in my personal opinion, but Andrew is still lacking in the same areas. I'm pretty sure the judges at the Olympia are going to want him a little bit tighter throughout the hamstrings and the glutes. Also, Andrew's side poses have definitely improved, but they could still be a little bit better. You have to think about it. When Andrew's hitting a side chest, he's next to Samson Dauda, next to Nick Walker, arguably the two best side chests in men's open bodybuilding. And this is no means me shitting on Andrew Jack. I've just heard so much praise, but I haven't really heard people be a little bit more analytical, and people really just look at all different scenarios. Now, I think the ceiling for Andrew Jack this year is third place, and that's just my personal opinion. I think Andrew comes in a little bit better than Texas. Maybe Nick or Samson dropped the ball a little bit. I think he comes in right behind Hottie and Derek, whichever way those two go. But that's just my personal opinion, guys. Let me know in the comment section below, what do you guys think? Following the Texas Pro, I did read all of the comments, and a lot of you guys said the glute striations, the hamstring details shouldn't really matter when this guy is so impressive from the front. I'm basically hearing that Andrew Jack has so much wow factor, he doesn't need to win majority of the poses. And I'll be honest, I feel like we have had some guys win shows that didn't necessarily win most of the poses, but this guy's physique is literally legendary. Looking forward to seeing what he's going to bring to the O. Historically, Andrew Jack has not been his best at the O, but I'm hoping that this year is going to be a little bit different. And in the next update of the day, we have some recent training footage from former Mr. Olympia Brandon Curry ahead of this year's Mr. Olympia. And when it comes to Brandon, I've been talking a lot about him getting older, possibly slipping in placings. But in today's update, I want to switch that up a little bit. Let's consider the possibility that Brandon Curry knows he's not going to be competing for much longer. He's no longer working with Abdullah, who he won the Mr. Olympia with, which shows that Brandon does want to make change. Let's say Brandon is going all out for this year's Mr. Olympia, which is definitely a possibility. When we're talking about predictions, I'm not hearing Brandon Curry at all in the top 5, top 6, which is definitely possible. Again, I don't think Brandon Curry can regain the Mr. Olympia title, but I don't think a top 6 is out of the question, and without a doubt, he will be in the top 10. But let me know in the comment section below, what are your expectations for Brandon Curry? Is Brandon on the way out, or is Brandon about to hit the gas this year and really bring it? Now, next up, we have a recent physique update from Mohamed Foda ahead of this year's Olympia. The winner of this year's Chicago Pro and runner-up to John De La Rosa at the Tampa Pro. I'm a huge fan of this guy's physique, and personally, I believe he is still underrated. Even though he's posting a lot more updates, a lot more people are getting to know him, I still don't think that Foda is getting enough credit. And you guys know my thoughts about his placing at the Tampa Pro. But at this year's Olympia, I do think he will get the nod over John De La Rosa. I would love to say that Foda is going to be in this year's top 10, but I've probably said about 15 guys are going to be in the top 10, so I'm going to slow down on my top 10 predictions. Foda definitely has the potential. Going into this year's Olympia, his posing needs to be a little bit better, midsection control needs to be better, and tan. Good thing those are all easy fixes. Now next up, you guys are currently looking at the latest update of Brett Wilkin ahead of this year's Legion Sports Fest. If Brett wins Legion, it will qualify him for next year's show, so he will still have another full year off to improve. Brett is looking bigger. He typically brings great conditioning outside of that one Arnold Classic. Coached by Matt Jansen, I think we're going to see a great version of Brett at the Legion Sports Fest. Now let's go ahead and wrap up today's video here with the archive of the day. Without a doubt, the oldest archive I've ever put out. But you guys let me know in the comment section below, who is this legendary bodybuilder? And I think we should all know. But as always, I hope you guys did indeed enjoy this video. And if you have not done so already, be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. I'm Krishan from Go Fitness, and that's it. I'm out.